Hey everyone, welcome back to Culture Cantina. I'm one of your hosts, Rocky Kari.
And I'm Shri Kari.
And today we are reviewing Everything Everywhere All at Once, but we have a very special guest.
Hi, I'm Sandy, and I am...
My beautiful girlfriend, Sandy Plascencia. She is joining us today. Please welcome her. She's our second guest.
Third guest. Because Mike and Cisco were the same one.
Third guest on Culture Cantina, and I'm so happy you finally made it.
Yeah,
I love you.
I'm excited.
I love her.
Sandy expressed interest in seeing this movie. We went and saw it, and now we have to talk about it. We were thinking about doing a spoiler-free review, but there's a lot to talk about with this movie, and we kind of feel like it doesn't do it justice to say anything about the movie spoiler-free. So we're just going to do a spoiler discussion. It's going to be kind of casual, just us discussing. We literally just got out of the movie. We're talking in the car about it, as you can see. So, yeah, which one do you guys want to start?
I guess for me, I really liked the movie. It took me a while to, understand what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I really liked the second half. I really love the second half.
From when to when?
When I started to get the point, and I don't know if I get the point yet, but two things that really stuck with me is the love relationship between the husband and her, Evelyn, and the daughter-mother relationship.
Yes, yeah.
So I feel like it kind of shows you need to be. I think I was trying to figure out the point, right? Because everyone was talking about this film. Everyone was like, oh my God, you have to see it, you have to see it. There is nothing like this I've ever seen in my life.
Not at all.
It is one of the most unique films I've ever seen.
Yes.
But I think that I also need a message, right? And I think it taught me care for your loved ones, care for your children. I feel like if you're a parent or even a child, which everyone is one of those things, you connect it into some ways. Sometimes you don't agree with your parents, or they can kind of and you kind of need space from them. But it's kind of that understanding with each other. That was my big takeaway. And that but also at the same time, nothing really matters. In the grand scheme of things, whatever. If you screw up, you screwed up, move on. It's a really good life lesson story. And it was told in such a unique way that I really liked it.
So I'm similar to you. Halfway through, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this as when we come out. But finishing it, I really loved it. I think okay, so I want to talk, once we start theorizing, I want to talk to you guys about this, but I feel like the point of all of the multiverse stuff was to show that point you were saying, that nothing matters. And when you say nothing matters, it sounds very negative, oh my God, why are you saying nothing matters? But it's nothing matters in a good way. Like you said, brother, even if you mess up, that's okay. You can just try again. If you don't go one way, you can go another. I think that's a really good message. And I think, especially nowadays, we're so bogged down with, oh, the world sucks, that having that mentality, turning nothing matters into a positive spin, I think that was a really awesome and unique message. And the multiverse stuff, I want to talk about that later, but I think it was a very unique way to get that message across.
I have a lot of opinions, so I'm trying to remember what both of you said to kind of
you want to just give
support that argument. It brings me to my
okay. Okay.
I love the movie. I think the first, so it's divided in 3 sections.
Yep.
The everything portion of it, I feel like the second half, I was getting so the first half has a lot of I have no clue where we're going. I'm very confused. The second half of the first section to me was very action driven.
Yep.
And it was kind of ridiculous. So the second portion of that first half, I think I was very lost because of the action component, and some of the things were very ridiculous. So they were taking my interest away. In my opinion, I think that if things were a little bit taken more seriously, in a sense, the message would get across.
Because it's
smoother.
It's a very funny movie.
Very goofy at times.
Goofy, and sometimes it pushes that.
Yeah. And it's pushing a message, a very extreme message through comedy, which is fine, but it kind of, if you're a person who's more prone to digesting serious topics within a serious context, is going to be hard for you to grasp onto the point of the movie.
That's a really good point, yeah.
In my opinion, I think it's a phenomenal movie. I think that the message is very clear. I think the very first scene is a phenomenal image of who we are and how we function as human beings. How chaotic that house was, how chaotic that table was, how much everybody was talking to each other but not listening at all. It was just, I mean, mind-blowing to see that. And I think the first message that I took from that right away is like, oh my gosh, you get so wrapped in all of the things that you need to accomplish in a day that you forget to pay attention to the people that you live with. You're not even listening to the people that you live with. And that's just, it really pints a point of slowing down. To your point, Rocky, both of you, about the message of nothing matters. I don't think it's just a positive spin. I think it's a neutral spin of nothing matters, right? Because I think the movie does a really good job at, in my opinion, for example, the scene with the whole thing of mom trying to save the daughter, that is definitely a mother-daughter relationship dynamic.
Right.
But all of the bagel is mental health. And
yes.
the bagel is
yes.
mental health.
Well, so I thought it was like suicide. I interpreted it as suicide. Like the bagel was like giving up. And like how the rock is like jumping off the cliff.
But how many people have given up and are still alive? I mean, there's people who live with chronic mental health illness, who are numb, who are so discouraged and lost and don't unalive themselves.
I did not.
Yes, I mean the bagel, and that's why the message of the character of the dad was so beautiful.
I love the dad.
So good.
And I knew from the beginning he was going to be an instrumental piece to the movie, but the way that he shows kindness and the way that he is funny and trying to find the good in everything, I mean, that is like his coping mechanism, right? Mm-hmm. But what do the others have is the constant fighting and the not listening to each other. Everybody has a different mechanism, but I think when there was a lot of times where the character Evelyn was tried to go back to that dark bagel, right? Of getting wrapped into the negative and losing hope. So I think that message was very beautiful. I think the movie itself, the message is very clear.
Yep.
And I 100% recommend it.
So you think neutral, so you think the message is nothing matters, and that's bad and that's good.
Yeah.
We need to kind of appreciate who we are.
And we're not living in the moment, because the whole thing about the multiverse, it's all of these different realities that we could have, right? And even Evelyn herself, she has this beautiful gift of her family, her daughter, her husband who loves her. And she keeps focusing, now that she has experience, now that she has tuned out all of the outside noise, that she has access to her own mind and her own feelings. Like she's thinking about all of these other possibilities that she could have had, right? Like she could have become a singer.
Like, we all do these things.
All
it's
do.
Like, what if I didn't go to school here? Or like, what if I met this person instead of this person?
It's
like,
it's very natural.
Instead of Evelyn saying, hey, I've been neglectful to my husband and I haven't been supportive of my daughter and I haven't stood up for myself to my father, she gets presented with all of these alternate realities, and she wants to continue to go back to those instead of focusing on what's in front of her, what's tangible to her.
So what do you guys think of the ending? Like what is the ending? Like,
so
because at the end it's all at once.
Yep.
And she's sitting there, and then she frankly is not in the moment.
I think in the very end she is. Like the last second.
No, but remember, the last second.
Yeah.
But she's elsewhere.
I think the way I took it was like a last goodbye of the other realities. And like now she's finally
But
present.
I don't think it's a goodbye. I think it's an assimilation of it's a part of me.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like she's set with herself.
Is it like, hey, I know there's no way that I can turn off not thinking about what would have happened. But this is me accepting that I will think about alternate realities of what I could do, what I should have done, but that's okay. And now I'm gonna come back to reality
and live.
and live my life.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the point.
I see that. I see that.
It's like it's not like, okay, yeah, it's so easy to say live in the moment.
Yeah.
But no one really is 100% living in the moment. You know?
Okay,
Like,
okay.
You're always gonna but it's like mitigating that and it being okay with that.
Okay.
Like that when it does happen. Is that what you like? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know that. That actually, I'm on your train now. I'm on train of thought for that.
Wow.
But one thing I thought, wow. one thing I wanted to say about the multiverse stuff is that like I kind of almost wonder if like, did the multiverse stuff like really happen in the movie? You know what I mean? Like, what if it was all just one? It's just the one timeline. And it's like kind of her coming to terms with, like we said, about living in the moment and like truly connecting with her husband and her daughter. Because in the end, because the end is very non-magical and so is the beginning, right? So I kind of saw it as like you could kind of, I feel like I want to watch it a second time so I could see how it works.
And I love how
but I feel like it might not. There might not be. I think you could look at it as there's no multiverse stuff. Like it's all like in her head, and it's still like enjoyable.
That did come across my thought.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe. It could have just been.
But
one thing I noticed was like because we didn't know who the bad guy was.
Yeah.
Did you guys get how they said, "Oh, tell her you love her," or them, and that was like the mom telling her daughter, "I love you."
At which part?
Oh no! Wait, no. That connected with the life where her and the finger lady, the
IRS lady,
IRS lady, when they were together.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when she said "I love you," that was her connecting with that reality. We're like, oh, I love you too.
Yeah, that's funny.
So
wow,
that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Little things.
I really did love all of the like hurting yourself or like doing something to change. I thought that was so funny.
But I didn't get it. Like, why would they hurt? Like, why would they do that stuff?
So I think they explained it like really quickly. It's like you would do something that like that your universe is like so unlikely to do, but another universe is like likely to do.
Well, it's
I
just
think.
the things that we do, trends, right? Like that's what this is about. We do really stupid things for approval, and we do really stupid things because we think that in our universe, that could be social media.
Yep.
That's acceptable. There's some sort of gratification to it.
You're like breaking the rules.
It gives you a tool to continue to create conflict. For example, if there's a trend to bleach your hair, like you're gonna damage your hair because everybody's bleaching your hair, and that's your weapon to continue to create this constant fight. We're all fighting each other, but it's just a fight with ourselves. Mm-hmm. And we're nothing and everything at the same time. I think, like I said, the first scene is everything everywhere all at once. And I think there's a practice of mindfulness that, in a lot of careers, especially in social work and helping professionals, that they help you practice, because it's really your time to center yourself. And people who are very in tune with their mind, with their body, have a better grasp on the daily practices, like the message from this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like for me it was very easy to understand it, especially because I come from I just had a retreat where or a conference where I practiced a lot of mindfulness, and I was very grounded and centered, and I've been very intentional every morning when I wake up and trying to think of positive things and trying to practice kindness, whatever it is. But I think everybody needs to watch the movie.
Yeah.
I feel we all connect with it in our own way. Like, even for myself, like, I feel like, sometimes I punish myself, right? Like, why am I not living in the moment? Why am I not living in the moment? But I think this movie says, like, that's okay.
Yep.
Like, that's okay to be like, oh, like, what would have? But it's like, hey, come back. Like, this is my life.
Yep.
There's a lot of things to be grateful for, like you guys. So it's like, there's a lot of, like, it definitely a lot to digest.
going off of that for you guys, I feel the same way. So like I think it's also how we all, like you said, gravitate to the movie in specific ways, because I'm graduating in like a week and a half, and like I'm at the tail end of college, and I'm really thinking about the future and where my life could go instead of enjoying the last week of college, So like I feel like seeing this movie like kind of like you gotta live in the moment. That's a huge thing.
There's so many lessons in it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, then it's like the whole like being proud, like with her dad.
Oh,
Like it was like sometimes I'm like I seek approval from others when it's like I should be seeking my own approval.
Yep.
Like, am I happy with what I'm doing in life?
And that's what she says to her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was seeking her, but I need to seek mine.
Yep.
And I did. So.
Yep.
I did love the message of when you give kindness to the world, that comes in return. I think that was very, very beautiful.
In the last fight, yes.
How do you do like? How do you put kindness in a fight and it works?
That fight was awesome.
It's so I loved that there was a lot of really bizarre things that really brought people to themselves. Like, it's this guy who like likes to be
slapped.
Lack of a better expression.
Yep, there you go.
And that is just so, like, I mean, I'm not judging anyone who likes to be slapped. I'm saying bizarre in the sense of when you think of kindness and being, bringing kindness to someone that's not the person that you think of. And I think that was very beautiful.
Being accepting.
It was very diversified and it was very lovely.
Yeah.
Two things, like they brought the ratatouille in it.
That was the raccoon was so funny.
And then also like they did what babe in Marvel they have the multiverse, which is like the whole thing that they've been building since Iron Man in 2008. They've been building to this multiverse. 2008 was 14 years ago. This movie did what Marvel did in one movie.
Oh yeah, like explaining this
crazy. How do you do that like that? Like, again, no shot at Marvel, but like
it's a heavy
lot
concept
to like. And like we are Evelyn, like we're figuring out this world with her.
Yep.
And I think the movie, it has its hiccups, right? Like you're like, wait, I don't get that. But like I feel at the end it kind of ties the bow, and like you kind of get where they were going with it. So. And
I think it's awesome when a movie pushes you and your friends to want to talk about it, like, because this is probably a conversation we would have had if a camera wasn't even rolling, like,
right,
and so I think I think everyone should see this movie. It was fantastic, definitely one of the best of the year so far, at least.
What would you guys say is your favorite part about the movie, and then what was the biggest takeaway from the film?
Sandy, you want to go first?
I'm thinking.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think for me, one, the uniqueness of it. Again, I said it before, I've never seen a movie like this, and I don't think anyone has seen a movie like this.
Yep.
So to tell a story in such a unique way that brings in comedy, action, drama, emotions, and like was amazing. And then I think my biggest takeaway was strive to just accept.
Yeah.
And like don't really think so much about what other people think. Like seek your own approval.
Yes.
Like,
that is a good takeaway.
Yeah, but it was a phenomenal film.
I would say my favorite moment was probably most entertaining was the ratatouille when she's running at it. That was most entertaining. But I think my favorite moment was when Evelyn hugs her daughter and the husband's watching. Like, because you can tell that they all finally connected, and they finally, like, Evelyn finally stepped up and the daughter accepted her. Yeah. I think that was really awesome. Biggest takeaway is, I know I've said this all over the review, I'll say it again, nothing matters. And like you guys said, it's positive, it's negative, but it's also positive. Like, you have to be mindful of now, and like, things may go good, things may go bad, but you just gotta brush it off and move on. I think that was a big takeaway I took from it, and one I really needed to hear at this point in my life. So yeah, I'm very happy that this movie came out when it did. So yeah, what about you, Sandy?
I think my favorite part of the movie as a whole is that anyone who watches the movie will be able to relate to it.
Oh yeah.
There is a character or a storyline or a thought or an image that will trigger very personal feelings. That's just the nature of this I got really stimulated by this movie too.
Yep.
Like it was crazy. So I'm probably gonna have nightmares for it. I really love the title, and I thought about it prior to the movie. I knew nothing about the movie but the title. And when I think of everything, everywhere, all at once, I think that that's the thing I want to remind myself every day. Like when I think of everything, that just makes me feel so insignificant in the best way possible. Like I just feel like I have so much access to everything. Like everything is for me to enjoy and everything is for me to be able to make a choice. When I think of everywhere, I feel so fluid and I feel like I don't feel stuck. I feel like I am a part of something. Like I am a part of a community, a part of a planet, like everywhere. I can see everywhere. And when I think of all at once, I think of moving constantly. It's happening all at once. So it's just, you just gotta, I just want to live by that.
Yeah.
But I say that right now because I'm motivated. Maybe I'll forget in a week. But
No.
No, I feel like... Yeah, go ahead.
Two things that I noticed, what you said about like someone you'll connect with this. I think this, like, you'll learn so much about yourself in this, because like there were things that triggered me about you guys. Like I was like, oh, like that applies to brother, or like brother probably connects with that, or like, oh, this fits Sandy perfectly.
I did think about that.
And like I feel that kind of shows who I am. Like I think about, and again, I need to pull this back, like, you know, others' approval and stuff, but I think about like how you guys are doing and like what connects with you. And again, like there's so many things that can connect. And I wanted to just say one thing.
Yeah.
The moment of the movie that I really loved that I just wanted to mention was when her and her husband had that moment and they were going through every single timeline. Like I just thought that was so special.
Oh, yes.
And like they were playing the music and it was just like that scene was just love in like a minute.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
so.
oh, like the lights are flashing around them.
Yeah.
Of the other universes. That was
I don't know if it's because Sandy's here, but like, I had the vibes. So that was a great moment.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to end on.